Begin afresh every morning. Devotional thoughts for women.
Greetings, dear friends. Today, May 18th, 2023, our devotional is entitled Servants of the Chaldeans. And Gedaliah took an oath before them and their men and said to them, Do not be afraid of the servants of the Chaldeans. Dwell in the land and serve the king of Babylon, and it shall be well with you. The second book of Kings ends with the people of Judah being transported to foreign lands and humiliated as slaves as a result of having opposed the will of God. Babylon besieged Jerusalem. The most prominent, the strongest, the most capable were taken captive, including the king, leaving only the poorest and the weakest in the land. Their hunger was so intense that mothers ate their own children, and the skin of those suffering it turned dry and blackened. Lamentations chapter 2 verses 19 and 20. The Lord had warned them of the results of their transgression. Leviticus chapter 26 verse 29, Deuteronomy chapter 18 verse 53 to 57. The prophet Jeremiah had tried in vain to convince the city to surrender to the Babylonians, but he was accused of treason. Jeremiah chapter 37 verses 13 and 14. Nebuchadnezzar appointed a Jew to rule over those who remained in Jerusalem. Gedaliah, who is mentioned in today's text. The faithful who had been transported to Babylon were allowed to live and work together, and some, like Daniel and his companions, became part of the government. God is so merciful, and He always keeps His promises. The Lord's chosen people proved themselves untrustworthy. They showed themselves to be selfish, scheming, dishonorable. But among the children of Israel, there were Christian patriots who were as true as steel to principle, and upon these loyal men the Lord looked with great pleasure. These were men who would not be corrupted by selfishness, who would not mar the work of God by following erroneous methods and practices, men who would honor God at the loss of all things. They had to suffer with the guilty, but in the providence of God, their captivity at Babylon was the means of bringing them to the front, and their example of untarnished integrity shines with heaven's luster. Why did the Lord permit Jerusalem to be destroyed by fire the first time? Why did He permit His people to be overcome by their enemies and carried into heathen lands? It was because they had failed to be His missionaries and had built walls of division between themselves and the people around them. The Lord scattered them, that the knowledge of His truth might be carried to the world. If they were loyal and true and submissive, God would bring them again into their own land. Thank God for His mercy and for giving you the privilege of beginning again.